In this video, we will be looking at forwards and futures. Let's start with the early origins of forward contracts. Forwards go back hundreds of years to agricultural markets. Farmers would trade their produce with merchants. However, factors outside of a farmer's control, such as extreme weather conditions, could have a big impact on the price they could look to receive. Farmers and merchants could see prices fluctuate as a result of gluts of produce or periods of drought. To guard against these price movements, before harvest time, farmers and merchants would put a contract in place which would set the price of a stated amount of a particular commodity to be delivered at a pre-specified future date. The commodity might, for example, be a bushel of wheat. When farmers and merchants drew up these contracts, they decided on the terms of the contract between them. The quantity, quality and price of the underlying asset, along with the future delivery date, were all determined by the parties making the agreement. A forward contract does not have standardized terms and is therefore traded over the counter. So, what is the difference between forwards and future contracts? As you can imagine, early forward contracts became very popular as a result of taking away some of the price risks associated with trading commodities. Due to their popularity, the world's first derivatives exchange, the Chicago Board of Trade, opened in 1848. This exchange introduced the first futures contract. A futures contract is an exchange-traded version of forward contracts. They can only be bought and sold via specialist exchanges. As a result, it's the exchange, not the two parties in the trade, that determine the quantity and quality of the underlying asset. The exchange also sets the future date for delivery and the delivery location. It is only the price of the underlying asset which is open to negotiation. Futures contracts therefore have standardized terms and are legally binding. It's not just commodities on which futures contracts can be based. In 1975, the Chicago Board of Trade introduced the world's first financial futures contract. For these types of futures, instead of the contract being based on a commodity such as oil or metal, they are based on financial assets such as shares and bonds. There is some key terminology you need to know when it comes to futures. Let's go back to the example of farmers and merchants trading produce, and let's say that they enter into a futures contract based on wheat. The seller of the futures contract is the farmer, who's committed to delivering the wheat at a pre-agreed price on a specified date. The farmer is described as going short, or taking a short position in the contract. The buyer of the futures contract is the merchant. As the buyer, the merchant is committed to buying the wheat at the agreed price on the specified future date. They are said to be going long of the contract. Keywords: forward, future, going short, going long.